like to call the meeting of June 13th to order. It is 6:30 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just making sure. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
Yes, under 7.1, I'd like to add the addition of Allison Cross as a summer school teacher's aide.
Any other additions? Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting on May 8th, the budget hearing on May 9th, and the regular meeting on May 16th.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And that brings us to our presentations. So we will turn it over to Renee Mark and Susan White, or just Renee Mark.
So, this year, Susan White and I were advisors for the Comfortable Cafeteria Club, which was made up of fifth grade students. The club is designed to promote social skills, emotional wellness, and healthy eating patterns throughout the elementary school. Our fifth graders wanted to create a more comfortable cafeteria setting where students can enjoy a meal, talk with friends, be responsible and respectful, and follow directions. So we met after school on the first Monday of every month. Students participating in the club had an opportunity to teach younger students how to create positive changes in the cafeteria. So they prepared a slideshow and they went into elementary classrooms to talk directly to the students about making small changes in the cafeteria. And the club members also gave the younger students some resources that promoted the importance of making the changes, the bookmarks and things like that. The club members decided to make a Google slideshow reel for the cafeteria, and that included facts about good nutrition and images of happy kids eating healthy food, a variety of different foods from different cultures, and a very cute little baby animal pictures, which they thought was really important to spread joy in the cafeteria. The thinking was that the pictures might help to promote conversations between the kids in the cafeteria. And then during the fourth quarter of school, the golden spatula was introduced. Fifth graders made an announcement over the PA system every Friday afternoon to award the primary and intermediate class the golden spatula. So it was for demonstrating respect and responsibility in the cafeteria. So although the club was a really big initiative and the ideas were huge, there was so much to do, much bigger than what we had time for. The fifth graders really noticed that we made movement in the right direction to creating some changes in the cafeteria, and they were very pleased with that. So thank you for supporting the club.
Is this something that will continue next year?
Possibly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Chamberlain?
I have an introduction. Just know you keep right up with me. Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephanie Bernard. I'm Vice President of Hamilton FFA. With us, I have Mrs. Chamberlain, our junior FFA advisor, also the 6th grade teacher, and Mrs. Thomas, our elementary principal. We have been given the awesome opportunity to share everything that HCS has as a STEM curriculum here. And to start it off, we have Ms. Thomas talking about the elementary.
Thank you for that great introduction. So I think it's our...
It's the other tab.
And then do I just hit the space bar?
Click where it says slideshow. Yeah. Then hit the arrows when you want to move.
so we're going to start off in the elementary school just to highlight some of the things that we've done this year in regards to science and technology. Read my writing. So this year in grades K-5, so the previous school year we were able to pilot through OHM BOCES some science kits. And we actually piloted one in each grade level per quarter. And so actually it started the year before with one of our second grade teachers who came and said, oh, I really like these, can I give it a try? And then it kind of spread to every grade level, one per quarter. And then this last year we were really excited because we were able to have 4 different science kits, all grade levels K through 5. So really exciting. It reduced, the science kits were collaborative with OHM BOCES. It reduced the amount of time that teachers had to go collecting different random items to do the science experiments. It provided some lesson plans, and it was really supported the New York State science standards. So I'm going to just show you a little peek into these science kits. So much of our science time just really involved a lot of technology pieces as well. And that was during our content area each day in the classrooms. So as I said, the kits were delivered quarterly to each classroom, and they provided both non-consumable and consumable materials that allow students to engage in the science curriculum in a hands-on way. So it just reduced the amount of time and planning, finding all of those different items. So this photo here shows how in kindergarten classroom during the ecosystems unit, students work together in teams to create a nest that could hold 3 eggs. So there's our kindergarten students working on that. And then you'll see we're going to kind of move up a little bit. Another piece of STEM activities that we did in the classroom, this is math instruction. And so a lot of hands-on math instruction happened. These guys are first graders. So here it says students engage in STEM activities such as building structures to study shapes during math instruction as a way to deepen their understanding of mathematical concepts. So, and this is happening in all the classrooms, every day in math, in one way or another, just especially in our primary grades, a lot of math manipulatives. So here they're studying shapes in first grade. Kindergarten. This one's first. I think, is it kindergarten? Oh no, you're right, kindergarten. Yep. STEM activities are also incorporated into special area classes such as art, music, media, and PE. The example below shows how second graders in art learned about jellyfish and then created their own jellyfish using a resist method with salt. So here you can see there's a video that Mrs. Wayland showed just about how jellyfish move, and then the kiddos use an art method to create their own jellyfish based off of what they saw in the video. Solving problems is the underlying basis of project-based learning. Below is a group of first graders that had to plan, create, and test solutions to help a prince scale a tower to rescue Rapunzel. So this is actually happening during choice time. So a lot of times people might think, oh, that's the playtime in first grade, but really there's just so much technology and science that goes into planning really neat activities here. So this is kind of their free time. Mrs. Miller's class she helped guide the students in having a problem based off of, I'm sure, something that they read, and then they were able to use their manipulatives in the classroom to solve that. So throughout the 2022-23 school year, teachers have offered multiple opportunities for students to participate in after-school Lego clubs. So those have been happening all throughout this year as well, not only during the classroom day, but also in after-school clubs. This has been one of our most popular clubs that we've offered to probably every grade level and sometimes multiple times a year. So these are the Lego kits that we've used, and you can see students are building and creating with those. We also use those on our technology night too. So I think that is just a tiny, one other evening activity. We held 2 evening events that provide families with the opportunity to explore science and technology together. So we had a technology night earlier in the fall, and then our science and tech night that I think, Mr. Arquette, back to his old, old stuff. And this was also during some different pieces that they did with their families in the evening. So I just wanted to give you a little snapshot of, throughout the day, how we use science technology as well as after school, and then even with families. So I will turn it back over to our middle school.
Okay.
Steph is gonna be my clicker, and I'm gonna kind of just have her like click away
Arrow.
because I don't want to take tons and tons of time, because there's quite a few slides. There's a lot of things. So I do want to start off by saying that for me this year, I incorporated STEM any place I could. It wasn't necessarily the sole focus, but it was taking my curriculum and 6th grade curriculum and putting like a STEM twist on it, or in some cases a PBL twist, but STEM is our focus for tonight. So we, throughout our year, have done so many things. I think at one point in the year, if anybody had walked into my classroom, and those that did, it did not look like your average classroom. There was stuff everywhere, but everything had a purpose. A lot of the stuff the kids did, from like flying our drones, we had our drone thing, we had parents come in, kids got to teach their parents how to fly the drones and follow the rules. Mummifying hot dogs during our mummification unit, that was super fun. We had to measure circumference. We measured the length of our hot dogs at the start, we checked them in the middle, and we checked them at the end. It's super fun in the middle at the end and smelled amazing. It wasn't too bad because that's the whole idea of mummifying, you know, it's not supposed to be too bad, but just little things that we put everywhere. And I did have the opportunity to try out a new course that met once a week for 2 different groups, so a Monday group and a Wednesday group, where we were able to do a lot of like hands-on problem-solving stuff. So like hydroponics and aquaponics was one of the things the kids wanted to try. We got this really awesome donation of this crazy, amazing hydroponics tent that we had to figure out how to put it together, how to make it work, how to grow something in it. We got to work with Dr. Helfont and her kids because we did a lot on the pH scales because your water has to be a certain pH level for lettuce to grow. So kids had to learn what is pH, how do I test pH, and we tested a variety of different things. We tested our school water, which was too high for our lettuce, so we then had to work with our pH down solution to add to our hydroponic buckets to get it to the right spot. And then as like a follow-up activity, we made our own pH scale using red cabbage as kind of a follow-up fun activity. So there we are working and learning from the older kids, which is always fun because a lot of times we go down to the elementary classrooms and we are the older kids. So it's really fun when we have the opportunity to have the older kids come to us and learn from them. So we got that opportunity. We built stuff this year. We went on trips this year. We did visit elementary classrooms this year. We grew stuff this year. We learned how to make mozzarella cheese this year in our brand new fax room. We had some experts come in. We worked with our finches, so they're robots that we have here at school. The house and the car, those are not hand-drawn. The kids programmed those little robots down there to actually draw those pictures. So it works with a coding program, and then your little finch does what you want it to do. So we worked with those robots. We made solar ovens, and then we made s'mores in our classroom. So the idea of working with different things, keeping heat in, and but really just overall throughout the year, I took my curriculum that I have and added STEM to it, because I think the basis of STEM is hands-on, interactive, and if you have kids up and if they buy into what you're doing, you fought the biggest battle, and they're with you from start to finish. So we entered a cooking contest this year. We did not win. However, we were the face of the contest. They did use our picture. But on the bottom is one of the meals that the kids prepared. They had to do all their own research, and it had to be a meal that met the requirements of our school cafeteria, because the idea was you needed to create a meal that could be served in our cafeteria surrounding beef. So we didn't win, but we had a lot of fun. We extracted DNA from strawberries. We also did it from pumpkins. We took an interactive tour into a human skull. In our early humans unit, we found this really cool online platform where you could actually, we went inside the skull, we spun it all around. It's a real skull, it's not fake. So that was fun. So this is kind of getting a little bit into PBL, but We built and installed wood duck boxes. Madison Lane Apartments reached out and asked if I had any students that would be willing to create these. So Mr. Larson was nice enough to do the laser engraving. So if you're wanting a little exercise and some sightseeing, if you go out on the trail of Madison Lane Apartments, you will see 5 duck boxes, and at each box there's an infographic about wood ducks, and each one is different, so it's kind of like it kind of grows on each other. So those are there for the residents and for anybody else that's interested. So our toolbox, one of the things that kids this year is they did a lot of events. They planned and organized events, and one of them was a building event where they got everything donated. They called, arranged with Curtis Lumber and got everything donated. We invited Mrs. Latella's 2nd grade class to come up. They built their own toolbox, and 2nd graders got to go home with it. They got to decorate it. It was chaos in my room that day, but each kid got to walk away with a lovely little toolbox. We did 3D printing this year. So I'm a hands-on person, so I figured I'd be hands-on presentation. So part of our hydroponics unit was we have to have grow cups, which is the original is shown on the screen, but we didn't have an endless supply of those, and we didn't want to keep taking from Mrs. Bozer. So again, to add another level of learning, we 3D printed it here using Tinkercad. And I will say it was not easy. The pumpkins that they did earlier in the year with my student teacher, those were a breeze. That cup was so hard because they had to get the holes in the cup and blending. And if you know Mrs. Chamberlain, you know I am not a 3D printer. So these poor children, I was like, you can do it, figure it out, I know you can do it. And they were like, but how? And I was like, if I told you, that would be cheating. And they really honestly did that on their own. And so that particular cup came from a student who is a student that does well at everything, doesn't struggle, good everywhere. And when he started, he was like, this is stupid, I hate this is dumb, it's not working, I want to quit. And I was like, well, you can't quit. Quitting isn't an option, that's not what we do. And then within 2 days, he had it done. So he was very proud of himself when he was finished. So we also did Scratch video games this year. I think you guys all have access to this PowerPoint. If not, I will send it to you. But that link is just to one video game that a student created from start to finish. And it's a review for our Ancient Egypt unit. So instead of doing a packet, they did a video game that had to incorporate from our unit. So you're welcome to play it. It does have 4 levels. I've only made it past level 2, so that's to all of you. We also used our Lego robotics kits. Again, they are, most of the yellow boxes you can build, and then you can program them. So the first picture is a Ferris wheel that Ryan Hauk made. And then when he got done programming it, the little square on the bottom lights up different colors, and he programmed the color pattern, and then the Ferris wheel does actually spin. And it can go quite fast or quite slow depending on how you code it. But we did have a safety lock box on top. Again, it's programmed to open and it's programmed to close. So we did the Lego robotics. We went on a virtual tour and we did a whole experiment with creating your own vegetable chips. Potato works the best. We entered another challenge because 6th grade loved taking on a challenge. I don't think we won this one either, but they made pollinator boxes. They are hung up around our school. We did plant some pollinator flowers within our front garden. And again, the kids created, designed, built, and installed, and they are weatherproof, so they should hold up. We use Minecraft and social studies to recreate our ancient worlds. We've made homemade pizza sauce and salsa using all fresh ingredients.
That was really good.
Yes, and we had taste testers come in. For the pizza sauce, we had preschool come in and we made little individual pizzas for them to try, and then kids got to take home a sample. Again, these are things you can click on. We created stop motion movies this year using a new app, using our computer, and doing all of the editing. The kids did all that themselves. So there's just 3. We've made Google websites this year. And then if you want to pause here just for a second, Steph. I'm gonna have her kind of go rapid fire through the next couple of slides. This year I got to start a new after-school club that was our STEM club, and it was so fun. We met every Monday for the entire year, and we just did super fun, amazing, awesome stuff. We did everything from exploding things outside, working with different mixtures. We made slime. We worked with electrical circuits, which brings me to my next goodie. This is missing the markers on the bottom. So this was our Doodlebot. So kids were given all of these materials, but they were completely unconnected. And at first, I just said, you need to make it go. And they have to kind of try to figure out how to make it go without me telling them anything. There were markers on there, and then they created a picture and they're done. But when it was all done, it's a Doodlebot. So they each created their own, and they get to take it home with them if they want. If not, I tear it apart and save the materials. But they learn how to wire their very own silly Doodlebot. So, silly, but boy did it bring us a lot of joy for that one day. We did copper wire circuits where we made pictures of copper wire, and then they had to connect the copper wire to make a light bulb turn on. We did a lot of different things with like paper flyers because we knew we were doing the drones. We did endless amounts of slime, volcano slime, glitter slime, lava lamps. We worked with changing flowers into different colors. We did little toothbrush bristle bots, and again, we turned them into robots using coin batteries. This one's slightly falling apart. We did a hydraulic lift. This is just missing the water because it's been sitting on my shelf. But again, kids were given all the materials and told, figure it out at first, and then I come in, but it just goes up and it goes down. And they have a little thing on there to see how much weight their hydraulic lift can lift. So again, this one took us 2 times, so it was our hardest one, but it still was super, super fun. So, Steph, if you want to do like a rapid, we were involved in science night. The kids did a lava lamp demo, which was fun. We made a fire snake. You can go back, that's Lego robotics. We made jiggly soap. There's our little Doodlebot on the bottom. We did terrariums. We just had lots of fun. Learning different things, and a lot of the times the kids didn't really know what they were learning. They thought they were just having fun. So my last thing I want to give to you, because it's always fun to take something away, and I always challenge my 6th graders, so I figured it would be fun to challenge the board. So we made homemade mozzarella cheese this year from scratch. I highly recommend waiting for it to cool because we ate ours warm and it was weird. But if you are so inclined, this is how you can make your very own mozzarella cheese from scratch. And we, you want to know?
Yes.
Pre-veterinary science did it last year. If your high schoolers can do it, you can too.
Yes, and if 6th grade can do it, anyone can do it. We paired it with different things, working on different like tastes that go together. You know, crackers, tomatoes, basil, balsamic, things like that. We get to use our new FACS kitchen, which I don't think it would have mattered what we did in there. The kids were just super pumped that we were in there. So that's what we have done. It's a very small snippet as to what we've done. I know that was a lot, but I've loved what we've been able to do, and I'm fortunate we've been able to do those things. So hopefully we can keep it going next year.
That deserves an applause.
I know.
When do you sleep?
I don't.
Okay, this is just 3 short slides, okay? So in our high school ag department, we have a variety of STEM-based activities in the classes. These classes include horticulture, ag mechanics, advanced ag mechanics, small animal care, pre-veterinary science, agri-science, and environmental science. So in ag mechanics and advanced ag mechanics, it incorporates math into real-life experiences, such as measuring, cutting precise angles, getting accurate dimensions, and learning like how to operate new technology such as our laser engraver and our new CNC machine. You are also getting the opportunity to learn how to change your oil and fix an engine. I got to learn how to fix my lawnmower engine. Woo! This will come in handy one day. In horticulture and environmental science and agri-science, you learn about the basic anatomy of a plant and root systems, and it gives you hands-on knowledge of like everyday plants around you. In pre-vet science, you learn the anatomy of livestock animals such as cows, pigs, sheep, and chickens. You also learn the body systems of them, such as the muscular system, the reproductive system, the skeletal system, and all of the other systems that you could probably possibly think of. In small animal science, you learn how to care for companion animals, and you get to practice basic veterinary techniques, such as bandaging or wrapping your animal's arm or leg, and how to give vaccines to animals, so you can learn how to give your shots to your pets. In closing, our ag departments offer multiple opportunities to be involved with hands-on STEM learning. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Robotics team is up next.
They will present at a future board.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? Maybe it's a principal question, but do we or you entertain the idea of doing anything on National STEM Day?
Oh, sure. When is National STEM Day?
November.
It's in November. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. We had our maybe that technology night that we had in the fall. That might be a nice way to celebrate in the fall. So, yeah.
I
I'll
think
write
also
that down.
STEM is also kind of like, STEM's always been around us, but I think we're just kind of getting back into the STEM part. That's every good thing going on.
November 8th, 2023. So it says Google.
I like the toolboxes too.
Listen, sixth grade's up for anything. You just ask my current sixth graders. They say yes before I usually do, and I'm like, thanks for checking, but okay.
Can I ask one quick question? Hopefully you can answer it quickly.
Sure.
What is the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics?
Oh, that is a quick one. So our hydroponics is using water and no soil. Aquaponics,
The little green cup things that
Yep.
you saw.
aquaponics is the same. The difference is that aquaponics, and this is going to be really gross, aquaponics is growing through fish poop. So we started with a beta fish named Gary, but Gary did not produce enough poop because apparently you need a lot of it to fertilize because plants need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and the nitrogen comes from the fish poop. So we had to give Gary to Izzy Mullinex, who now gives him a kiss every morning, and we upgraded to 4 39-cent fish, and we got that really nice aquaponics container from back from the Roots. They gave us a donation.
So it's
So
like, you've seen the growing tower in the ag room?
Yes.
That's hydroponics. So that doesn't have the soil, but it has like the little sustainable, friendly, little green thing. Yeah, green cups.
Gotcha.
And then aquaponics is just floating water with rocks in it.
fish.
Thank
I will say that the lettuce grew really fast with the fish. It grew much slower in our hydroponics. But so if you're looking for which one you should go with at home, I would say aquaponics. It's a much faster return on your seeds.
I guess it's the
So-
way to go.
Exactly, yeah. And the kids had a hard time. We tested everything we
Good luck
did.
explaining that more.
Oh, we gave it an option.
Don't just say food.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
That brings us to the Emerald Foundation grant presentations.
Guess that's me. All right, I'm going to start us off, and then I'm going to call.
And for those of you that don't know, this is Matt Haynes, who's the president.
I was going to do that.
It's not there on the top.
Which one do I use to?
So you're gonna use this keyboard if you
Yeah,
want
I
to.
got
You
that.
can also use this.
Oh yeah, I can just
If you click slideshow there. Now in order to change your slide, I don't have permission.
You don't have permission.
Oh, I bet it's the videos.
Yeah.
I bet that somebody did give me permission to view the videos.
Oh.
But you can see the thumbnail.
Yeah. We can act it out. No, I'm
Are you an owner of the presentation?
You
You can change the
so, yeah.
conditions real quick, or go without it. It's gonna show a little black box.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can't see this video.
I think we can just go without them. I
Okay.
think we don't need to hold everything up.
Okay.
All right, hi. Can we get rid of that though? That's a good question.
Yeah, the next slide it'll go away.
It'll go away in the next slide.
Yeah,
There are probably gonna be 3 black boxes for my slide.
or maybe not. Oh yeah, it's a color. I think.
Request access.
Oh, okay. There you
That
go.
little black thing.
So
looks like a box, but
definitely
it's-
movies.
It's definitely movies. That's okay. Hi everyone, my name is Matt Hames. I am the president of the Hamilton Emerald Foundation. And thanks for inviting us. We appreciate that. If you're not sure, and you probably are sure because the people in the room here got grants, but tell your friends, tell your fellow teachers that there's a form online to fill out. And you know, we meet once a month and talk about it and want to award dollars that the community donates to teachers who just want to do more inside the classroom. And so there's a lot of different things that the Hamilton Emerald Foundation has funded over the years. We're going to talk about what the grant award presentations were for 2022 and 2023. So here they are, but this is a boring list. So each one is going to be on a slide. So Donna and Amy, do you want to? If you want, I can do it, or if you want, you guys can do it. It's up to you.
Some of the board already knows about.
Yeah, we came and did our summer curriculum presentation, which was also this unit. The unit was to expose our students to indigenous authors, and so Amy did a lot of research, I did a little, finding these young adult books that were written by indigenous authors, and we narrowed it down to the spiritual aspects of the culture. We wanted them to read and experience things that are certainly part of their culture and their spiritual experience that we may not understand.
So the summer curriculum gave us the funds to work together to put this unit together, and the Emerald Foundation gave us the funds to purchase the books. It was also going to give the funds for a.
That's where it crashed. There was, we were talking about having the Oneida Indian Nation either going there or having a storyteller come to us and share some of that, but I had sort of a wonky spring, so things didn't quite come together the way I wanted them to. It is something I would like to continue next year, and I definitely would like to get further into that unit than I did this year, including going to the Oneida Indian Nation, or talking to the elementary principal and having some sort of togetherness about that. They have dancers as well. They were going to give us a quote to see what we could do for a morning or a day. And the only reason you pay for the dancers is because they're professionals. Everything else is free. I thought maybe October, November, Indigenous Peoples Month.
How do you think it was received by the students?
Okay. Like I said, I was out for a couple of weeks when I was going to be doing this unit, so I ended up not actually being able to use all the books and things this year. But the students who did read the books enjoyed them. I'm hoping to move forward next year and do more, add more books. I will say it's a choice unit, so therefore the students always get to choose books, and they love those units the most. They love to choose what they're learning and to be in charge of how they're learning it. I give them a calendar and some ideas, and their groups go from there.
Nice.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
Oh, Steph left. The girl in the wedding dress is Steph. She was in the show this year. Every year we do a musical, and every year we're able to have a live orchestra, and that is mostly because the MO Foundation very happily gives us the funds to be able to do that. As an extracurricular, we're fairly large, and giving the kids all of those learning experiences are important to me. When you add an orchestra, a live orchestra, after rehearsing for so long with the taped music, then that's a whole different experience. It's a different way to collaborate with the adults in the orchestra and with Mr. Coldren, and it is a collaboration. You can't just have the orchestra come in and play without teaching the kids how to do that. It's an incredible experience for them. I couldn't get together kids to do a video this year, but every time I ask them, they want to make sure we're having a live orchestra again. And it's important to the audience as well. If you've ever been to a musical that has taped music versus a live orchestra, it's a very different experience. A live orchestra responds to the singers, as opposed to the singers have to respond to the tape. So it's a different thing for them. So thank you for the funds for that. It's become formative for kids who go on. My kids aren't getting ready for Broadway, but boy, they're enjoying it immensely. And they go on. I've got students from years past now that are still participating in their community theater, in my community theater, coming back and helping with shows. We also have students who have gone to school for theater and have appreciated the fact that they had a live orchestra. So thank you for that. One of the things that makes, when we changed the date, we ran into some issues with Allison and Sarah coming, but the elementary master's program, we still haven't decided what to call them. Mini masters, we're not sure. But we're really trying to fold ourselves into a program that supports from 3rd to 12th grade. And one of the things they are learning earlier and earlier is performance, and microphones are an important part of that. If you've ever spoken with a microphone taped to your face, you know that it's a different experience. And to be able to know how to do that takes practice. In the last few years, we've run into microphone problems with some of our mic packs are getting old. The microphones themselves, the wires that go up to your ear are older. And we want to encourage these younger students. So Sarah and Allison said, hey, let's start getting new packs. Let's start replacing some of our old ones. Let's get a system going. So this first new pack in many years is a nice stepping stone, a starting point for a plan to do replacement. And the kids, you put a mic on them, some of the kids are so shy. I didn't really work specifically with 3 through 5 this year. But you put a microphone on them and boom, you got all kinds of performance going on. And so this way you don't have to figure out who gets the microphone. Everyone gets to use a microphone. It's a big deal. So thank you again. Thank you for your support.
We actually had a long conversation about this one.
Really?
On the board, yeah. Just curiosity, too. But it was probably one of our longest conversations, I think, that we actually had.
Like, whether it was a worthwhile purchase?
Well, so what we were talking about, whether or not, not a worthwhile purchase, definitely. Just a lot of conversation about the place for the elementary mini masters and having their own ownership and whether or not they should share or have their own to just take them to another level. So that was the conversation. So it was good. These are the videos that the American
Yeah, I
These are my 3 black boxes.
No, I think they're gonna show
Oh,
us.
You
oh,
fixed
These
good.
one might play.
Yeah,
Michelle fixed it.
we don't, oh, thank you.
I
Oh,
think so.
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I'm the tech club advisor, and I've been in the Knights Nook, and in the Knights Nook there is at the moment 2 big computers that help with the processing of video making and whatnot. The first one was already there because I think it came from the gaming computer idea, probably esports, right? So these projects were all facilitated by that first computer. A couple of board meetings ago, you probably remember that Abby Hagos and Amelia Morkaviches and Ingrida Morkaviches, they won the Runners-Up Rural School Association. So I don't think we have to play this video again. We played it in forum, we played it for you. But this is a 1-minute clip showing you all the wonderful things about Hamilton. I'd say this year has probably been, sorry Skynate, the most successful set of newsreels. We really had some great editors, again the Morkaviches, in addition to Will Chenard, and you need those editors to really take that footage and turn it into something that's watchable. So this is showing you one of those. They're all on the Hamilton Emerald Knights Technology Club YouTube channel for everyone to want to see again. I really would like to highlight this one. This is Maggie Klein, one of my senior AP biology students, and she is a member together with Sarah Klingeman and Liliana Hagos as part of the Climate Club, which I think Mr. Alsop runs. But Maggie has spent a little bit with them, but she spent a lot of time herself behind that computer dealing with an hour and a half of footage of interviews, which includes an interview with me, but also other local members of the community, all about how they have experienced climate change. And so that was turned into a documentary, a 45-minute documentary that played at the Hamilton Movie Theater. Thankfully, after a lot of pushing, she has curtailed that to a 20-minute showing, and she submitted that to the Hamilton International Film Festival, and thanks to Morgan, it was a week postponed because she was still so busy editing. Since then, I mean, this student is amazing. She, correct me if I'm wrong, Maggie, she has now submitted it to, I kid you not, up to 60 different, many online film festivals. And she's gotten one response back that they accepted her nomination, and so she's really moving forward with her climate action. In a sec, I would like to play a couple of minutes of the start of her documentary. It's not the trailer that was shown in forum, because she is so not self-promoting. So my husband and I went to the Hamilton Movie Theater, watched the 40-minute show, and then in class, in AP Bio, they were working on their final projects. And I said to Maggie, you don't need to do a final project. Turn this into your final project. And so as I'm working with her in the Knights Nook to help her with a little bit of editing, and she self-taught a lot, I said, wow, that song, it's so beautiful. Whose song is that? She said, I wrote that. I sang that. Everything, choreographed everything. So, well, before I continue, why don't we watch a couple of minutes of that beginning? So you're going to see a scene along, I think it's Lake Moraine Road, and I really want you to pay attention to the lyrics, because I think they're kind of heartbreaking. Yeah.
Turn them out.
Playing?
There you go.
Okay.
Transformations happen right
I could listen to more, but I won't keep it within a certain limit. I think the link is available. That's actually the whole 20-minute video that you have access to if you want to see it with all the interviews of the local people. I just don't want to watch myself in front of you on the screen, so that's why I stopped it. So together with Mr. Arquette and Ms. Daou, we talked about maybe offering a digital media production course so that we can encourage students to, well, this is a digital age that we're entering, obviously, that we've already entered, so that I can help them in the Night's Nook. And again, 4 years ago, I came with nothing. I knew nothing. I mean, you were the only one that knew stuff, the both of you. And so since then, you already know I started my own YouTube channel, which has really now helped in me learning OBS and how to record videos and how to edit them, basically, all about sound. So yeah, I have some things that I can offer the students, even though I know less. You always know, there's always so much more to learn. So I'm hoping by presenting here, I'm looking in the camera and maybe parents are watching, we need students to enter this course. Right now, I don't know how many we have, but thanks to the Hamilton Emerald Foundation, so if I go to the next slide, we now have this, so it's going to play, just keep hitting forward. And it's going to play that one, and then, yes. So thanks to the Hamilton Emerald Foundation, and I hope this one is muted good. I just filmed here Noah Stahlberg sitting behind the new computer that Larson set up. So I'm hoping that maybe we can accommodate 4 students in that room, because then they can be behind the actual large computers to edit projects. So I want to thank the Hamilton Emerald Foundation for funding that extra computer. So yeah.
I think it's actually doing it a bit of a downsell to call it just a computer. It's a very powerful computer.
Yeah.
Currently the most powerful computer in the building.
Yeah.
It's got a huge hard drive, very fast processor, tons of RAM. It's what you really need to be able to edit video in any meaningful way.
To put it in perspective, you saw Maggie Klein's couple of minutes, and she wasn't quite yet making use of this computer or the other one in it, so she had to deal with an hour and a half of video footage, which is a huge amount of bytes on the computer. It requires a huge amount of RAM, and she's using a program, Canva, on her home laptop. It just can't handle it. So to have this now available with DaVinci Resolve, which is a free program for now, it just is a lot speedier to process all the editing, because it just takes time otherwise. So, okay. Thank you.
Oh no, those are the ones with no permission.
Oh!
Whose are those?
They were not mine.
Which slide are we on?
We are on.
Who owns those ones?
If this is Sarah Zogby's, she's been texting me, asking me to make sure you see these, and I've been saying, did you share them? And she said yes.
Well, she attached them to the slideshow, but they must be private videos. Maybe she could just tell us what they are, or she could grant me access quickly if you're talking to her.
Can you hit the request access, so maybe it'll go right into her email and she'll.
Yeah, try
That's
that.
what I was thinking, yeah.
And I just had
take
to
request, yeah. And do it for
We'll
all
do
the
it for the
other
other ones too.
Yeah, you'll have to back up and do it when it.
That is a Achilles heel of the cloud computing era.
Yeah.
every separate item has its own permission set.
But why did my favorite
One
time
more,
have
would
that
that
issue?
be
I had
this,
already.
did you do all three?
I did all
Probably.
three.
Good,
Michelle
okay.
They came from YouTube. Maybe that's why.
No, I gave access to the beginning of the presentation, because I have the Emerald Foundation presentation, so you had given them access.
Oh, okay.
She's hoping you guys get to see because she said the students,
Yeah, I watched
Oh,
them. They're
really?
pretty.
Let's skip
Yeah.
it for now, and we'll come back and see if the access is granted. Let's see who's next. I'll give her a minute. There we go. Switch to Karen.
I was lucky enough to get 2 grants this year. Our first one was for recess equipment. At the beginning of the school year, the elementary steering team was discussing improving recess, and going off that, we redesigned recess completely. We added more structure and supervision, and we added recess zones using ideas adapted from a program called Peaceful Playgrounds. The next step to that was getting new PE equipment, or maybe next year PE equipment, recess equipment, because our old recess equipment was just hand-me-downs from PE, which sometimes weren't in the best condition. So we were lucky enough to get all this new recess equipment, so each grade received their own bag full of balls and other equipments for students to use. Because of the redesigned recess structure, we've seen improved recess based on behavior and also safety reasons. The new equipment, we've seen increased participation and enjoyment as well. It also helped our students learn the importance of being responsible, as the students were responsible for their own bags, and they took accountability for taking their equipment outside, packing it all back into the bags, and bringing them back inside. So that was our recess equipment, so thank you. And
I think that's it.
T-shirts.
Yeah, I gotta see
Yeah.
the t-shirt.
Yep, wait, nope, yep.
And the second grant that we received was for these t-shirts here for field day. All the students are going to get a free shirt for our free day, or our field day, hopefully Friday. We'll see how the rain holds up for us. The shirt design was adapted from an idea that Mrs. Latella's class had, which was hard work plus cooperation equals success. Redoing our acronym for HCS. As I said, students will wear these shirts at field day, and we're also going to be planning a big school picture before that. Thank you. Morgan's going to use the drone to take a big school picture for us. The shirts will also be used next school year at the monthly assemblies that the student council will be putting on. The assemblies will be coinciding with the Positivity Project curriculum, which promotes and celebrates being a unified school that uplifts character traits, teamwork, and integrity, and open-mindedness. And on behalf of Ms. Thomas, our students and staff, we would like to give the Emerald Foundation Board your very own shirts. So, thank you. And thank you, Michelle, for getting the sizes for me.
And those shirts did not come from
Yes,
the Emerald
these were not from the grant.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
From those in the school.
It looked like those videos were appearing
Yeah, they did.
when you
Yeah.
I was
accidentally
gonna
went by.
say, she's hoping they are.
There you go.
See, sometimes.
Our members of the Hamilton Board of Education. My name is Blue Child, and I'm about to finish my 5th grade year at HCS. I was asked to respond to a few questions regarding our elementary plays and musicals. First question is, how have the plays and musicals impacted you? Participating in plays and musicals has made me more confident speaking in front of a large group. It has also given me a chance to prove to myself that I can memorize something. Unlike answers is for education presentation. Why are the microphones important to you? The microphones are important because when we, the students and also the directors, have worked really hard on a play or musical, practicing and memorizing, we want people to actually hear us, hear what we worked so hard on. If we don't have mics that work properly, no one can hear us. All the parents and friends who have purchased tickets will just feel frustrated if they can't hear us, hear what they're saying. I've often been given parts that require me to do an impersonation, and I could be totally lost on the audience if they can't hear me. They just wonder why I was mumbling. What is your favorite memory for a show year? It's hard to pick just one. They've all been fun, and I've always felt really proud when I finish. But a funny moment that happened in Aladdin this past spring was the directors had written an introduction to the audience about where to exit in case of an emergency. And it was so cheesy with 1980s puns that when I was reading it after one really corny joke, I had to stop and just let the cheesiness sink into my brain.
Just what?
Cheesiness sink in his brain. And then I started laughing, and it felt good to make folks laugh and also be all united in the same moment. Everyone seemed happy and excited, and as it set a good tone for the musical that night. And no one would have heard me if my mic hadn't been working. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a nice summer.
Hi, I'm Kate Tanks, and I'm in 5th grade. How have the plays and musicals impacted you? They were really fun, and I got to hang out with my friends, and they just made me more confident, because, like, in Aladdin, I was, like, really nervous about singing in front of the audience, but I did it, and it made me really happy.
Why are the microphones so important to you?
They're really important so that the audience can hear me without me having to, like, going across the whole auditorium.
What is your favorite memory of a show you were in?
Aladdin, because I liked the singing, and at the end, Miss Riley and Miss Ross, handed out flowers to the kids, and the bells were just really fun.
Anything else you want to share about the plays?
They're just really, really fun.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm in 5th grade. I've been in 4 musical specials. I've been in Cinderella and Nelson Hill. I've been in musical and entertainment in the Caribbean. I'm in Junior Jim. I'm Evil King and Dolphin Entertainment Musical. And Aladdin, I was just.
Okay, how has the plays and musicals impacted you positively?
I feel more confident after all these plays and musicals. Like talking to people and telling people, and really just teaching the process.
Why are they most important to you and the show?
Without the mic, we're very quiet and we can't get a whole lot of fun. But with our mic, we can get everyone to laugh, and it's just good.
And what's your best memory from the shows that you've done?
My best memory from the show was during Aladdin when we did like dance parties at rehearsals, and it was fun. And like the first show that we did was really fun.
So that's it. I just want to thank everybody for talking about these, and Heather wishes she could be here, but she's being celebrated at her school tonight. So I'm Pinchetti. So thanks everybody, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you to the board and all those that donate to the Emerald Foundation. As you can tell, what you do does a lot for our students. We're grateful. We'll move into the consent agenda. However, as we typically do, we will allow people to leave at night, although we love you to stay. We understand you have things to do in the evenings to prepare for the next day, and understand that you will. So thank you for being here, and feel free to stay.
You should go.
You're allowed to say.
Is there anything exciting happening now?
It's all exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parliamentary
I don't know.
procedure.
More exciting than what I can do at home.
Treasurer's report.
Oh, wait, that is.
Thank you.
I trust you.
Thank you.
We can dive into that if you want. Consideration of claims.
Thank you again.
Consideration of claim.
So the consent agenda, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which is 4.1 through 4.8.
Well, I'll move.
It brings us the treasurer's report, consideration of claims, transportation report, cafeteria report, authorization to transfer funds, authorization for payment of final bills, cooperative building, and the intermunicipality agreement. Any discussion? All those in favor? That brings us to policies, the second read, and approve those. So I need a motion to approve the following policies. 0017 and 8204. Second. Sorry, I didn't have it written. Any discussion on those 2 reads? Great job, policy committee, as always. All those in favor? It does bring us to our first participation. Morgan, feel like it didn't leave us. There are people watching, so if anybody, Morgan, would like to come up, you're more than welcome.
5 minutes.
And no comments online. Anybody online that would like to make comments, please do so in the chat, and we will get to you in the next part. We need, we'll then move on to 7.0, which is new business. A lot of these will be done as individual motions. I need a motion to accept the resignation of William Clark effective May 31st, as recommended by the superintendent with sincere appreciation for services rendered to the district.
Second.
Discussion will be in executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
A motion to accept the resignation of Sandy White for retirement purposes effective June 16th, 2023, as recommended by the superintendent with sincere appreciation for services rendered to the district. Discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor? I need a motion to approve the administrator and confidential salaries and stipends for the 2023-2024 school year, as recommended by the, and presented by the superintendent.
Second.
Discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor? I need a motion to approve the appointment of James Morano as probationary cleaner effective July 1, as recommended by the Director of Facilities, Business Manager, and Superintendent.
One second.
Discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor? Need a motion to approve the following elected or appointed officials' workdays as recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? I need a motion to approve the following staff for the 23 summer school programs at HCS and Madison Oneida BOCES.
A second.
Any discussion?
I will be abstaining.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the substitute list as recommended by the administrative team and superintendent.
Move. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? I need a motion to approve the appointment of Jeff Snyder as a tenured social studies teacher effective July 1, 2023, following the successful completion of his probationary period and extension of his as recommended by the secondary principal and superintendent. Sorry,
I'll move.
A second.
any discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the appointment of Mark Peck as tenured school district leader, secondary principal, effective July 1, 2023, following the successful completion of his probationary period as recommended by the superintendent.
Okay, I'll move.
I will second.
Discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations to you.
Alright.
I need a motion to approve the recommendation of the committees on special education and preschool special education.
Second.
Discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor? I need a motion to accept the following monetary donations with sincere appreciation and to increase the budget by the amounts as recommended by the business manager and superintendent.
Second.
Discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to approve the class certification list for graduation contingent on each member completing all graduation requirements. Any discussion?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Impressive.
Very impressive. Well done, class.
Thank your parents.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we're on to 7.5. Oh, I thought it was something else. Sorry.
You got a little excited there.
It's policies.
Yeah, this isn't all that exciting.
Review. But it's not me either, so it's a review of policy. I'll turn it over to the policy committee.
Well, this is just the annual review, so I think we just need to either, to review these, so if there's any issues anybody saw, if they're minor, we can change them, but if they're anything major, we can, I think it would be sent to the policy committee for a formal review.
And
So-
these are required by law, so
Yeah.
they have to be reviewed.
So if there's nothing here you saw that stood out to you, we don't need to.
So the only thing I saw, I had a couple of things, 7005, which is student attendance, I just wondered if that needed to be reviewed with a restorative practices language standpoint.
Yeah, I think once we finalize the code, it'll be,
It'll be part, it seems like, yeah, it seemed like it was gonna dovetail into that, so I just wanted to make sure that that was,
It's a good one for a future board to do because it's over 12 years ago since its last revision.
and then the other one that I had questions about was drug-free workplace, and some of it's just language. It talks about Hamilton Central School being free of controlled substances, and then it talks about illegal substances. It says are to be free of controlled substances. Then it goes on to say, controlled substance shall include substances as defined, whatever. The use of a controlled substance pursuant to a valid prescription or as otherwise authorized by law is not considered illegal use. So the first part doesn't say anything about illegal use. It says free of controlled substances. Down here it's saying you're talking about illegal use. So in other words, if somebody is rightfully prescribed a controlled substance and carries it with them, it's messy. The way it is written is messy. And I also wanted the policy committee to think about where this falls in terms of marijuana. Given that it is now legal and there is medical marijuana. However, my understanding is that anybody receiving federal funding, because it is still federally illegal, I think it would be smart to think about adding language into that about.
I would say that is probably one of the oldest policies.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
I think it was like last updated
a
in
future board
2008 or
might
something.
consider using that with BOCES, with one of
Yeah.
the subscribe policies.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are numerous updates since.
Yeah, I'd say if we could just,
Yeah.
send that to.
Yeah, we'll add
Yeah.
it to our list.
Yeah, because that one was messy in a lot of ways. It was very messy.
We did get through
I
all
couldn't
of
open
ours
it
this year.
either.
Well, that
Pardon
was,
me?
yeah.
We did get through all
I
of
went
this
into the
year.
policy. I actually, yeah. And the other one is just in terms of the actual document, is that the internet safety one I couldn't get to either. The link didn't work when I used it.
Many of the links didn't work. You
The,
had to go to
the drug-free
policy.
workplace and the
Some of
internet
these
safety
have
were
been
the two
recently
that-
revised too, like investments has been done.
Those were my only those were my only concerns with those.
Okay.
Yeah, I went into the policy, it's there, it's just the links didn't work, so if public doesn't always verify the policies, so.
And NISBA also on their policy page has a lot of those as well. If we want to use them.
So those were my policy committee, thank you.
Yep.
Moves us to 7.6. Motion to approve the following summer curriculum development projects as recommended by the Director of PPS, Director of Technology, Principals, and Superintendent.
Second.
Any discussion?
I don't necessarily have to, but I'll abstain.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Motion carried. I need a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting dates for the 2023-2024, as recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
Any discussion?
Assume you checked these with your new members.
Yes.
It's like, I'm just gonna throw that out there since they couldn't be here tonight.
They're okay.
Yes, you admitted it, so.
I'll just mention this because I think we now have policy for attending these meetings virtually.
Mm-hmm.
It grants the term that you in policy is extraordinary circumstances. And you know that it's very narrowly defined, and I think that's up to us to define.
Yes.
But I will, just so everybody knows, I'll be out of town for the first meeting of the year. It's vacation, so it's not, you know,
But you're also not close.
anything. So the question is, does that define this an extraordinary circumstance that we would be fine with?
So, what I would say is that meeting has to happen in a certain window. It's that reorg meeting that has to happen.
Yeah.
Well, the question
In a
is
certain
my
window.
attendance through the chat, through the video conference. Now, if you think what is extraordinary, extraordinary, out of the ordinary, right? It is out of the ordinary.
Right.
This isn't a regular occurrence. It's happening for, you know, just whatever reason. So,
And it was
and
probably
I think it's
booked
up-
before this.
if I understand correctly, and Bill, if there's any legal advice that we have gotten contrary to this, please let us know. It seems to me that that would be acceptable. It's not
I would say yes.
overused. That's up to the board, I think, to decide.
My interpretation, I would, especially because that's the real meeting.
Yeah, it's not like, any other meeting you can move,
Right.
right? Like, if you needed to be there, you could move it.
The reorg has to.
But the reorg has to happen in a certain window,
But it could happen.
but it could happen without But,
So,
Yeah, but
As
it's
long
also
as- I
one
just
that
wanna
we
make sure-
appoint a lot of positions and
Right.
volunteer stuff.
or I could
I mean, we
attend
could
and
just
not be a voting member,
Volunteer you for
but-
everything.
yeah. But that's all,
Yeah.
I think,
yes, that's how I became vice president.
I think it's okay, but I wanted to say that in a public setting with everybody here, that that's what we're deciding together, and not as a.
I think it's,
I think
and it's not a routine thing.
And I'm not angling to get into the meeting if you all said no.
I think Corey's trying to get out of it.
We'll just volunteer you for everything.
All those,
So
Yeah.
we had a motion and a second.
That's what I thought. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just making sure I was in
Need
the
to
right
finish
spot.
Pro tem on top.
Making sure the clerk's paying attention.
I looked at you like, where are we? Motion to approve the pay schedule for 2023-2024 as proposed and recommended by the business administrator and superintendent.
I will move. No.
Go, I'll second. You moved, I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. This one we will be doing as roll call, so I will turn it over at that point for Matt to read.
Sure.
Motion to adopt the bond resolution of the Hamilton Central School District authorizing the issuance and sale of serial bonds or notes in anticipation of such bonds in the aggregate principal amount of $180,000 as preceded in the attachment.
So I'll move.
No.
No.
No, this is gonna be done via roll call.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
we
we
still
wait,
have
so
we still have to have
are
a
we supposed
motion and a
Don't we have to
second.
move and second it first?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we go.
Dude,
Okay.
So Ellen, I'll second.
because then I have a question.
All right, any discussion?
Yeah. What are we buying with our bond this year?
Bus.
Big bus?
Mhm.
One big bus?
Yep.
Electric?
No,
Don't go down.
that'd be a little bit more.
Okay, sorry.
Did you gloss over the amount?
4,000.
I was joking. It was a joke.
One wheel.
It's the electricity is part. Starting to buy
Yeah.
parts
For the charger.
future years.
The charger.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, any other discussion? Matt?
Yes. Mr. Ames.
Aye.
Mr. Duplo.
Aye.
Ms. Larson.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
And Ms. Jacobson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carried. I need a motion to lease one school bus to the Village of Recreation Commission for the summer 2023 program with the following stipulations.
Second.
Any discussion? Other than it's very helpful to that program, so I'm glad we're able to do that. All those in favor?
Aye.
We have, just to throw this in, we use, our district insurance carrier is, we're part of the New York Schools Insurance Reciprocal, NYSER. The village is part of NYMER, which is basically the separate arm, it's the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal. So that makes it a very smooth transition for us to do that, so. We could do it even if we weren't, but that just simplifies it, makes it a lot easier, so.
Has it always been that way, Matt, or is that something you built put there?
Yes, I mean, years and years ago, they're different, but for the last 8 to 10 years at least, it's been that way. Yep.
Now I get to read a whereas, so good luck to everybody listening. I need a motion to approve.
Did you read the whole thing?
Yes, and I don't love it. I have to read it, I love it. I really do. To approve the resolution regarding the annual organizational meeting. Whereas, section 17071 of education law sets the date of a union-free or central school district's annual organizational meeting for the first Tuesday in July, or the first Tuesday in July, or if the first Tuesday in July is a holiday, and the first Wednesday in July. And whereas the meeting of the Board of Education policy number 2020 states that the date of the district's annual organizational meeting, in accordance with section 17071 of educational law, and whereas section 17072 of educational law grants the Board of Education of a union-free or central school district the authority to adopt a resolution determining that date of the district organizational meeting will be held at any time within the first 15 days of July. And whereas the Hamilton Central School District has determined that the district's 2023-2024 organizational meeting should be held on a day other than the date established by section 17071 of educational law. Now therefore, be it resolved, 1, that notwithstanding policy 2020, that the date of the 2023-2024 annual organizational meeting shall be on Tuesday, July 11th, 2023.
I kind of want to ask you to read it again, but I won't. I'll move.
I'll second.
I did pretty good.
You did very well.
I only messed up a couple times. Any discussion other than that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a drink.
Of
That-
water.
Now we, yeah, of water. Now we're at 8.1, SEL and Family Engagement Report.
So that was submitted in writing to you.
Anything, any comments? Any questions?
Still the one thing going there.
Exactly. That brings us to the administrator's report. Any questions, comments? It is our last full meeting of the year, so I just want to say, great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Great job. To you and your staff, great job. Another school year well done. Superintendent's report.
I have a couple additions to my written report to you. This week, SED released a 42-page advisory on how schools can create a safe, supportive, and affirming environment for transgender and gender-expansive students. So it's really good news from state ed. We'll be digesting that this summer as an administrative team and implementing some of these best practices for the school year. We'll also share this with our inclusivity committee moving forward and with our steering teams. So it's a great
Can I
document.
see it? Just
Yes, you can.
Is there like an executive summary or an outline or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
No index that I could even just.
And they are, this is not a state mandate, it's a framework for best practice.
That's awesome.
And just an advisory framework, so. Also, Kappa Kappa Gamma, a sorority from Colgate, reached out to me in end of April, beginning of May, and asked if they could do a 3K run walk and donate the proceeds to our district, which they did. And I'm happy to report that they raised $1,900 that they're going to donate to the district for SEL and food insecurities, so to help our backpack program and packaging. So that's terrific. That's a wonderful partnership, and they're going to continue it next year. So we are very thankful and appreciative of that. I'm happy to report that we have 5 applicants for our nurse opening. So we will be moving forward with interviews for that position. And I will just share with you, these were 5th grade reflections on restorative circles and restorative conversations. So at your leisure, read these. They're powerful. They're really fun to read.
Oh, awesome.
And just, it's a kind of a testament to what restorative circles can do to a school community and what it means to our students. So Renee submitted those to me to share with you. So
that's 5th grade.
Yeah, 5th grade. So fun stuff.
Any
Questions?
questions or comments for Bill?
Thank you.
8.4 is the budget vote results. That's there for informational purposes and to make sure that there's a supplemental file on hand for the district clerk. 8.5 is the 2023 senior class future plans, which are very impressive. And they should be very proud of themselves.
Would you like me to read those out? Traditionally, I have.
Yeah, that'd be
There
great.
we
Yeah,
go.
that'd be great, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so this year we're planning on graduating 39 seniors on Friday, June 23rd. So I'll just run through the list of our graduates and give you some of their future plans. So Craig Arput will be attending Colgate University, studying computer science. Lauren Barker will be attending the Culinary Institute of America, Culinary Arts. Taylor Basher will be going to Syracuse University for Sports Management. Nicholas Bondi, Temple University Sports Management. Colby Campbell, Stetson University Entrepreneurship.
And I can tell you that he and his friends have started a few businesses already. McKinley Craven, St. Bonaventure University, Marketing and Sports Media. Morgan Craven, excuse me, SUNY Oneonta, Business. James Daddio, Bentley University, Business. Kylie Delaney, Ithaca College, Speech and Language Pathology. Fiona Dosange, Occidental College, Art History or Philosophy. Noel Duclos, Furman University, History and Art with a focus on photography for the arts. Heather Foster, SUNY Coalskill for Agricultural Business. Coy Gilchrist, Dixie Technical College for Welding. Derek Goldby, SUNY Broome for History Education. Ethan Hamner, SUNY Herkimer for Art Studio. Lily Harden is looking to get employment, hopefully for an animal shelter or bakery, fast food. Hudson Itzy will be attending SUNY Delhi for golf and sports turf management. Camille Kenyon, Siena College, undecided. Magdala Klein, the SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry, so you saw the videos earlier, kind of makes sense. Looking at environmental health. Gabriel Lawrence, looking for employment. Logan McPherson, Olivet Nazarene University, Business Entrepreneurship and Sports Management. He also was a business guy in school. Amaya Martin, SUNY Geneseo, Adolescent Education. Logan Matthews is looking for employment, but I did hear recently he's also looking at NVCC and possibly looking at welding. Rosalie McAllister, employment in food service. Naomi Myers will be attending Vassar College, biology or chemistry. Ethan Nagel, Universal Technical Institute for welding. If you get a chance, we have a cart parked out. Is it out there right now?
It was this afternoon.
It was out there. If you see a car with chairs on it, he put together that cart. It's pretty
Cool.
good. It's pretty good. Emily Newman-Schwander, Finger Lakes Community College for nursing. Lowell Nugent, Siena College, Environmental Studies. Blake Perry, Employment, HVAC Technician. I don't know what Rainey's going to do without him because he helps him out a lot around here. Carissa Peters, a gap year, and then further her education. David Platt, Employment as a mechanic. Benjamin Reese, Morrisville State College, Culinary Arts. Jael Ridgway, a gap year. Reese Snyder, Morrisville State College, Business Administration. Taylor Taiwo, New York University, Applied Psychology. Paul Verbitsky is taking gap year and then employment. Peyton Werner, University of South Florida, Finance. Elliot Pendleton Witherspoon, Princeton University, Geoscience. And Tyler Willicke, employment, undecided where. So that's a good list we have right there. And it's a good group of kids. I obviously know them pretty well, a lot of them since pre-K. So we're very proud of all of them.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wow. Very cool. Good job. Spirit team update. Is next. So we'll do elementary.
Steering. I was, again, out of town for what would have been my very last.
So
It was a party.
I can give you a kind of update.
True.
Mr. Rogers gave us a technology update for the elementary, and we talked about.
We talked about a lot of stuff, but I had a good conversation about Parent Square and how parents were using it, what they liked about it. They were really overwhelmingly positive about it, and most of the conversation was around how can we use it more. So we had a good conversation about that. They like that it's sort of unified communication around here. And then what else did we talk about? We talked a lot about the devices and how they were used. Teachers had some really good examples of how they're using technology inside their classrooms. So it was a good conversation.
We got some tips on how to streamline using Parent Square maybe in the future for clubs, field trips. So we got some good ideas for where to go next year too.
Secretary?
I don't think we had another official steering committee meeting.
Not official steering,
But we've had this kind of
decide.
ad hoc group meeting about cell phone use in the school, and so we gathered some data, did a survey, really spearheaded by an interested community member, and a lot of the steering committee participated as well, and have some background research about the importance of limiting cell phone use in school. So it looks like Mark and his team over the summer worked to figure out what's going to be good policy moving forward. And Chris has been helping out on it as well. Seems like Heather will have to get involved. Maybe finally figure out how to, what's the best solution for our school and for the kids' mental health. So.
There's been real good conversations coming up as well. And, the focus initially might have been behavior and discipline and things like that, but then, more of the conversation is around social emotional health and even steering towards addiction to different social media things out there. So we're going to work on the why as well. Like, why would we be interested in changing this?
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what the policies look like, but definitely we'll need to have a lot of education, and definitely will be something somebody doesn't like.
For sure. Is that gonna focus just on cell phones, or are you gonna bring like Apple Watches and
I think
things
that's
like
gotta
that
be
into
part of
it
it.
too?
Yeah.
So it's a holistic.
Yeah. So combining outside devices, I think, in general.
Because even the watches came up at the elementary level.
Yeah, honestly, maybe more so than cell phones.
And the research mostly doesn't really, like Mark was saying, it doesn't really differentiate the types of devices. It's about constant sort of distraction, and even when it's just near you, it's still distracting you. It has to, interesting research was further away, but it gets from you if you're really trying to be not distracted.
Yeah, the researcher saw said kids perform better on a test randomly, if they were allowed to have the cell phone on the desk, in their pocket, or in the backpack, or out in the locker, and the farther away it got.
That's really interesting.
So I had the idea that during finals they should mail their phones to China and they can
Right.
That's really great.
Good thing. Knowledge sharing. I know Jen has something to.
I have a lot, but I'll talk fast. So I'm not sure if everyone got this. I think because I was our advocacy rep, I received like an invitation. Governor Hochul is presenting on Thursday for a youth mental health summit. I would have loved to go, but it's Thursday at 10 o'clock in New York City. So it was kind of an expensive trip, the length of time that it was. But hopefully we'll get some feedback on that.
Will it be broadcast?
I don't see anything about that. So, but it's going to include mental health providers, advocacy groups, some parents and caregivers were invited, educators, and then many community business and government partners throughout the state. So hopefully they'll compile something and we'll get some feedback on that. That would be great. Instead of going over all the advocacy stuff, I sent you guys emails with the end of session advocacy summary from NISBA. There was a bit of a delay and extension in that because of the budget and things like that. But it does look like one of the main priorities for them this year is going to be on school safety. That is something that has come up a lot. They had presenter come into the board of directors, present, that's available, and basically they did, they foiled a lot of information from schools that had school shootings and analyzed and got a lot of data and were there commonalities and things like that. So that is available. I can send that to you if you want. It's shocking. It's a lot.
Jen, excuse me, was that presented by Homeland Security?
It was presented by Rockefeller Institute Regional Gun Violence Consortium, and it was Dr. Jacqueline Schildkraut. Schildkraut.
Yeah.
So that's who did that presentation. So,
Can you send this to us?
yeah, I can share that.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I already brought this up, but NISBA's policy department created like a lot of the required and recommended policies related to school safety. So they have a lot of those available, and Jessica Goldstein, in charge of policies at NISBA, is really helpful too. So I know we have BOCES, but we do also have that alternate resource. I attended the executive committee meeting for School Boards Institute. There was a lot of talk about attendance and really trying to get districts involved. A lot of, there's gonna be a big push to encourage superintendents to start attending the regular committee meetings. There's 4 a year, and just, we're very fortunate, we have superintendent support, they send them out. There's many superintendents newer superintendents that don't even know what SBI is. So really just they're a really incredible resource. They're looking for presenters for next year for regular meetings. The hard part with this is they're only like 15 to 20 minute presentations, so you would have to go to Utica with the group. But if anybody has any ideas of what could be done, or if we have anybody that would be willing to do that, they would really like that. The legislative committee is continuing summer meetings with the legislators, so that will not rest. They'll continue advocacy efforts over the summer. They had 18 people signed up for the new school board training. That is in person, and they have decided to keep the financial portion of it online via Zoom. They felt that worked better. There was a lot of talk about so many schools had vaping issues. Many schools are installing halo sensors over the summer. Many schools have shut all their bathrooms down except for one. There was a few schools that actually had software, and the kids have to sign out with the software to use the bathroom, things like that. There's a big issue with that.
My son's school is doing that this year. They send one. Yeah, it's like a digital hall pass.
Yes.
Basically just like a zillion data points, so that if somebody gets caught vaping, they can check all
They can see exactly
the records and see who's where.
Like
It's
the
more.
idea of shutting down bathrooms, but I mean, I
Yeah,
get
some
it.
schools are going all single occupancy with a swipe card.
Yep.
To be able to.
So they can see who is in there. They're shutting them all down and having just one, so that, again, there's one point of entry, these kids are sneaking in. The biggest issues they're finding, especially with marijuana, is in middle school level. It's not the high school, it's middle school level. Actually, VBS had 3 girls transported from school in ambulances due to bad marijuana that they got. Really scary. So there was, literally they went around the room. There's a lot of issues, and it really is worse at middle school than high school. I don't know if we're experiencing any of that or at what levels, but something to definitely needs to be high on our radar. And then they were talking about some programming next year to try to get teachers to also teach more soft skills. A lot of our kids are learning, what they need to learn, but they don't have the soft skills to go with it. So, and they did a survey with some employers, and that's what they were saying. There's these kids that are coming in and they're brilliant, but they don't know, they don't know how to talk in front of people. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to shake hands, what's polite, so really starting to push that into the classrooms as well. Oh, and then there are, for the general membership meetings, there was a lot of talk back and forth. They didn't have a topic for the first meeting. They think that they are now going to do that meeting on electric buses. That seems to be something that a lot of the districts were talking about. They are trying to identify a couple vendors to come in, not to sell. They had to make it so clear, this is not selling, it's strictly education. And some of the people that have already talked to some of these vendors they're asking some of these questions, and even the vendors, the ones selling these buses, are like, I don't know, they're talking about like driving over bridges and battery life and how to do a run, and they're like, I don't know. Like, so the people selling these can't even answer some of these questions. So, and then on November 9th, will be, it'll be on Zoom because Commissioner Rosa unfortunately isn't able to come out to BOCES. However, that will be a Zoom meeting at 6:30. They're trying to make it a little more structured this year. So again, it's not till November, but if we have anything specific that we would like her to discuss in that time, let whoever the SBI representative is next year know, and they will take that feedback.
Thanks, John.
Any other knowledge sharing?
Just on the topic of the other buses, there was Elizabeth has a podcast that they interviewed somebody about it. Had a lot of great information. The last question I asked him was like, so what do you think? Can schools do this? And he said, no, we're going to have to push back.
So, last week at my business officials conference, the commissioner was there and spoke, and this was, to my knowledge, the first time publicly in front of a mass group like that she really was pretty confident that it was going to be pushed back. There was no definitive timeline. But to echo what Jen was saying, that it was, I kind of cringed a little bit with Ellen's joke earlier, because it's like the big buzz at the conference, and there were multiple sessions on it, and depending on who the presenter was representative of, it varied. And one of the emerging concerns is infrastructure and weight capacity on certain roads and bridges. So it just keep opening these.
Regular bus?
They are.
Yeah.
And God forbid they catch on fire.
They were talking about that too. The safety is really bad.
So there are engineers that are analyzing the grid, and they have their own thoughts on it. There's certainly manufacturers, there's salespeople, so it's really dependent on who's presenting. It's really tough to gauge where we're going, but it was a little encouraging to know that the commissioner is at least acknowledging that the original timeline for rollout is not realistic. So I think we can expect to hear more as we move forward on that.
Would have been nice if they talked to people before they went out.
And it seems like they're creating more alternatives. I was just reading today about e-fuel, which is developed in a way that takes carbon out of the atmosphere, so it's whatever it releases is totally offset, and it can be used in a regular car. I think, of course, right now it's limited and expensive, but
We already heard about cocaine buses and natural.
The problem with quick, firm deadlines is there's a lot of unintended consequences that market-wise can't handle. People were talking, well, if it's 2027 and then turnover by 35, everybody's just going to buy all new gas buses in 27 and wait until 35. Well, if that's what happens, then the intention is that people would cycle them through, but the unintended consequence, people are going to do the opposite. They're going to load up on gas buses while they can and put off buying the electric until the end, which then, so, it's, there's going to be some changes.
Thank you for all that. 8.8 is summer office hours. Offices will be open 4 days a week, and every other Friday, effective July 3rd.
No, every Friday.
Nope, sorry.
They'll be open every Friday on a rotating basis, so every office will be open every day. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Policy 2020.7 is for our information.
Policy regulation.
Policy regulation. And that brings us to board recognition.
Yeah. So we all know that it takes a strong board to have a strong school, and a strong school supports a strong community. And I want to thank Ellen and Travis for your service to our district. Ellen, 9 years, Travis, 3 years. You've helped lead this district through arguably one of the hardest times in public education. You've given up countless hours of your personal time for the betterment of our school, always through a lens of what's best for our students. And we can't thank you enough for what you've done for this district. So we have some gifts for you. We thank you for everything that you've done, and we certainly appreciate you, and we would love for you to stay present with us. Some gifts.
It also brings us to our celebration of 10 years and board service, so we're gonna take a break and leave that going. But
I get one too?
Here's cake.
Oh my gosh.
Cake.
Mark,
Did community participation.
do you want to just,
Yeah, we're
for you?
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Literally, they don't open.
I have fun.
It's on the agenda.
Okay, we're back on.
So congratulations to the tenured and to, Ellen and. You're not eating all the cake. There will be, this is general public. Nobody really wants to come up and say anything, so we're good there. It's still saying to stand by on this side, but I figure it's gonna.
Slight delay.
I need a motion to adjourn to executive session, where we'll take time to discuss the employment history of particular individuals.
Second. No one wanted to.
There will be no vote, so we will not reconvene online after this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
22.